Okay, introduction to pencil. Here are several pencil variants that one can have. What I have here is a 2H. H means hard. The H pencils or the H leads make lighter marks. Okay, they're also the harder ones. Uh, and then the B's, starting from B, 2B, 3B, all the way to 10B, um, are the softer pencil leads. They also make the darker marks. Now, the higher the number in a B pencil, so for comparison, you have a 2B versus a 7B. The 7B pencil is darker than a 2B. Okay, let's just for comparison, this is a 2B. I'm making an even wash. For our purposes, let's call any area that we lay in a drawing form, or we lay in a painted area. It's called a wash. Okay, now this is a 10B, so I'm using the same pressure as I did with the previous pencil, the 2B. So notice it's already darker. Okay, notice that. All right. Okay, let's just zoom in. Okay, now a note about working with paper. It's good to have paper that has a bit of texture to it. So the art journal that I gave to our class, the paper is very good because it has some tooth or texture to it. By tooth, I mean the grainy texture of the paper. So let's say this is a cross section of the paper. This is the top side, this is the bottom side. It's actually not flat like this. The tooth or the grain of the paper, you can imagine, would be like hills and valleys that are uneven. Okay, so that when you draw on it, when you put a mark on it, the graphite or the bits of lead or the pencil lead are actually just deposited on the top of those hills. Okay, now that is very important to remember, because that's the reason why we draw with a light stroke, so that the lead stays on top of those hills. Okay, now if we press hard like so, because we want to have a dark area, or we want a dark mark, what's gonna happen is all this is flattened. Okay, and because all this is flattened, there's no more space for the lead to come in. So no matter how many strokes you put, it does not really get any darker. Okay, now how can you tell if paper has been bruised or flattened? If you view it from the side, you will notice a sheen or a shine. That means all the lead has been flattened on the bruised paper. So if you notice here, it's still very matte. Okay, so how do we darken with a pencil? Alright, before that, later na yon. How do you darken with a pencil? You work with a progression. So for our demonstration, we will work with a 2H. We progress from light to darker or softer pencil. So 2H, 2B, you will get a 4B and a 7B. And what is our darkest here? I actually have a 12B, but let's work with a 10B. Okay. So let me just draw a quick rectangle here. Using my 2H, I put in an even wash of color of pencil strokes. So this is as light as possible. Let's see if we could zoom in, if you could see any difference.